Sorry about that. That one got cut off. I have to figure that out. So let me go quickly move ahead. So we are going to talk about after the braided line, which is another option for you. What you're going to start talking about is lures. And now, what I am using right now is a lizard. Black on one side, red on the other side. It has a 3EWG size 2 offset hook on there. You see that? See that little offset there, right? And that's where you hook that bad boy on there. And that little offset on there. You see this right there? And that little offset, see that? And that's where, when you put that up there and you twist it around like that, the head of it sits right at the end of that, right? And you bring this up here like this, you see that? And you kind of measure your distance where you want that hook to come out. You see that, where that is? And then you put it up through there, and that hook will sit right on top there. And that's what makes it weedless, okay? And those are great. These are drop heads right here. What this does is this will, when you cast it out, this will go automatically down like this to the ground, and it will give that action on that curly tail on the way down, and it would sit straight like this, and that curly tail will be sitting there flowing in the water. It gives it that presence of a wounded fish or a wounded, worm. Okay, that's an option there. All right, there's many different options. This is one of my favorites right here. All right, this is called watermelon pearl. This is one of my favorite worms right here. Again, Texas rig. It actually has a little slot right there, if you can see it. That's where the worm will come up to, and it rests right down in that little slot right there, and that's what makes it weedless. So now you can go with those, and you can put one of these little bullet weights, right? And what you would do here is, see that little hole? The line would go straight through here from your rod, right through there, and then you would tie that to your hook, and this would sit right on top, just like that, right? And it makes that little, it can make a little clatter there, okay? And then you use those depending on how deep you need to go in your water, okay? And there's different sizes, they get bigger, okay? That's one way. Texas rig is what I just showed you. This is a 4 offset worm hook. See that right there? It's a number 4 hook. That's a popular hook to use when you're using those kind of rigs. It's got a nice big mouth right there, okay? So picture that on there like this, okay? And you got that nice big mouth there for the fish to grab a hold to and get them nice and hit. This is a number 3. They have many different sizes. 3 and 4 are the most popular ones. It doesn't look like it's much, but it is, okay? And then you have the flatheads here that are also weedless, right? Those right there, you do what they call a wacky rig, right? So that will sit there just like this, and that action there is what drives the fish crazy. All right, you put this right through here like this, and see that little action there? That little action? And what'll happen is that this right here will go down first, and as it's floating down, it will give you that wounded warrior, that wounded warrior action, and the fish love it. Okay, those are some options there. Okay, Know your colorways. I'll try to, the blue here, very good. I'll show you this here. I'll try to make sure I put it up, okay? This is kind of like a criteria on waters. Dark water, sunny days, cloudy days. Cloudy days, you want to use darker colors, like this blue, blacks, things of that nature, okay? Sunny days, you want something that looks like natural prey, like silvers, blues, you know, greens, nice dark greens like that, okay? Dark murky water, you want to use something bright, the reds, orange, silver, okay? And so those are just some things. I'll try to make sure I try to put that up on there at some point. Those are just a few things that I use when I go out. Like I said, I'm a plastic guy. We have like these little swim baits here. These things are amazing. These are also different colors. I mean, it looks like a real fish. You see the eye on there? I mean, these things look like a real fish. And these right here, you can hook these onto these little swim jigs right here. Little small, see that? Got a little eye on it, little presentation, right? And you would put this on here just like this, right? Just like that, right? And that tail's just to flip it around just like that. You know, that's another beautiful presentation that you can use. They also have weighted hooks as well. I know this is a lot. There's a lot of different ideas that you can go with here. So that is pretty much the kind of things that I like to use. That is the basics on your reel. Now, I will try to do a video on showing you how to spool your reel as well. I'm kind of starting from right here right now. So that is kind of the kind of stuff that I'm using right now. Real simple. Texas rigs, very simple. Okay, like I said, here's your 4-aught hook, offset hook. That little offset right there. Here's your worm. You're gonna want to put it on this one here. You could tell. You're gonna put it on the back side of it, right? And you're gonna go in there about 1/4 inch. See that? See how much I went in there? Not much. Okay. You're gonna slide that all the way up, right there, and you're gonna twist it at the top, and see how it sat right in that little pocket right there. Sat right in there, nice. See that? Sat right there, that little offset there. And then you are going to, once again, you're going to gauge where your hook needs to be. All right, see that? And then you're going to put it right through there. And that hook is going to come out right inside that little pocket that they provide for you there on that lure. See that, how it's sitting in there? Can't even see it. And there you go. All right, that's a basic Texas rig. When you hear Texas rig, that's what this means right here. Now you can put one of those drop weights at the top if you so choose. See, one of the little bullet weight up there, depending on how deep your water is. Or you can go weightless, which is this here. Fishing these right here, make sure it's nice and straight, okay? Because you want to create a natural look in the water. Fish know. Okay, they know. They're like, wait a minute, that don't look right. I think he rigged it wrong. It's like they know, right? So you want to keep it straight. That also keeps away from line twists. Your line will start twisting on you. Okay, if you don't have it rigged in nice and straight, because I want to do this, you know, and you'll start noticing your line gets twisted up. But this is a basic Texas rig. When you hear it, this is the most common, most popular way to rig plastic, soft plastic worms right there, nice and straight. Okay, but this is also a finesse thing. It's patience. This thing right here will teach you patience because you have to allow it to drop, especially if you're going weedless. 4 feet, 5 feet of water. Let it take its time. Okay, if you want to get down there a little deeper, a little quicker, add one of those bullet weights, and it'll get down there. On the way down, you're just gonna see all this good stuff here going on, and then wait for it to get to the bottom. And then what you do from there is just raise it up, let it fall, reel. Raise it up, let it fall, reel. Okay, and you're gonna keep doing that. And what it's gonna do, it's doing this underwater, right? And so you imagine this little guy right here, right? The little eye on it and everything, right? So you imagine him going like this, and this little tail here in the back is just fluttering in the water, right? And that's what'll grab their eye, all right? So those are some basic things. Texas rig, one of the most easiest and but most used rig out there for soft plastics, all right? And so far, that's what I'm using. Okay, that brown, right? That more natural with that little tail, you know, something a little bit different with that orange and a little brown flake on the back of it. You see that right there? See that right there? You know, more natural colors like that. I do have some whites and silvers in there. So that is some basic stuff right now. Get to know your reel first. Understand your line. Understand the difference between the line. You also have a fluorocarbon line right here. You can see that. See what it says? Okay. This is a strong line, but the key word there is the vanish, right? Because fish can see that. And then depending on the area you're in, depending on the water, you know, that monocarbon's a little thicker, so they can see that. Sometimes you'll see, if your line's hanging in the water, you'll see the little fish trying to grab your line because they see it. All right. This here is another option. All right. You see how it says easy casting? Very easy casting. Disappears in the water. They have different colors when you start getting to the braided stuff, especially. You know, they have camo green. They have things that'll blend in more to the water. All that stuff helps, you know. That's all that stuff where it starts getting a little advanced, so to speak. All right. But for as basic setups, this is what you have right here. A few things that I've shown you so far. And we'll get more into stuff. We'll get more into it. The better I get at making these videos and getting the length longer, because my other video cut out, but bear with me. And we're going to get into more stuff. But I just wanted to throw some of that basic stuff out there for you. Learn your rod, learn the line, what it's capable of doing before you go out there. If you're inexperienced, there's plenty of videos on how to show how to use a bait caster. It's not as hard as it may seem, but I would suggest going with an open face reel to get you going, to get you comfortable, and you can slowly, you know, feel comfortable and graduate yourself to a bait caster. Hopefully I'll be able to get one sooner than later, and we can go over it together, and we'll show you how to get that going. But for right now, thank you everybody for watching, for listening. I'm sorry the other video cut out, but I'll post them both and I'll figure that part out as well. Thank you once again. It's the Average Angler, aka the Honey Hole Hunter. Welcome to Honey Holes. There'll be more.